If I tell you what I have to tell you, you have to promise to believe me no matter what.
Ugh, what is that?
I got attacked.
Oh my God. Are you
By
okay?
a group of homeless vampires.
Bitch.
I didn't know who was responsible, but I was gonna make them pay.
There's fire and decapitation.
Got your ass back.
Maybe we should just go.
I think we use a wooden stake.
What?
They're vampires, duh.
Alexander, do I get to butcher your name or just I allowed you to do
Here,
it?
let's just hear what you think it is, and then I'll.
I heard
do
Marty.
Well, yeah, that's my nickname, but like.
Oh, okay.
But
yeah.
what about? Can you try to just say my first name?
Maritte?
That was a nice try.
I tried
actually
to
haven't heard
T's
that.
insinuate that, you know.
It's a Maritte.
Oh, okay.
But-
What's the ethnic kind of
Okay, so
background?
I'm Filipino, but
Yeah.
my dad said he's like, your name is actually my ex-girlfriend's name.
Oh,
don't
no
don't
way.
tell your mom.
He didn't do that
She
for
knows
real?
now, so it's fine.
Oh, gosh. What'd your mom say to that?
I don't know if she knows, honestly. There we
Hopefully
go. There we go.
Hopefully she doesn't watch this
I mean,
at all.
it's time. It's time everyone that she knows. But no, I go by Marty. It's a lot more simpler to remember
Yeah.
and say.
But it's a creative name. You get to
Yeah.
have fun with it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I saw a movie of yours, Phobias, actually like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, did you really?
Yes, I saw a bunch of
funny.
crazy people in a room, and I'm kind of curious what motivated that, because I like the concept a lot. That was a lot to put in one space.
Do you know Radio Silence? They did like all the oh my god, it just slipped my mind. But all those anthology movies like Southbound and they're most famous for the one with the flying woman demon. I cannot think of it what it was called right now. They did Ready or Not. Anyway, so
Yep,
we worked with
I
Radio
know of
Silence.
it.
Yeah, they did. We worked with them, and so their format is taking shorts and then formulating a through line to create a feature. And so a couple of my friends and I, who I've been producing movies with for over like the last decade, were like, we all love horror, and we kind of wanted to take that and take all of our friend directors and be like, okay, here's the ask. What's your phobia? And we all wrote shorts, and then we had to create a feature around it. So it was kind of like taking
True to life
Come on, let's like
recollection.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's
exactly.
genius. I love the backstory about it.
Exactly.
I appreciate a film, so perfectly I get to ask you that too.
And one of my like scariest moments in my life was when I felt a spirit enter my car and control it. And so it's based off something that I experienced.
I think we all had some sort of experience.
Have you really?
Yes. I've had, so
my
my
God.
mom's house is on an old Indian burial ground, basically.
Of course.
And
You lived Poltergeist,
yes. And of course the channel would change when I was a kid with the remote on the table,
Oh my
and the channels would just flip. I kid you not.
Oh my God,
Computer,
that's so
when you had the old desktop computers and the
Yes.
station, it would
Yes.
just turn on and I'm in another room
Yes.
by itself. Oh, it's
That's crazy.
yeah,
Yes.
that's ghost taking over your life.
No, that's
pretty much.
literally what happened to me. I was like dropping off my ex-boyfriend at the airport. As soon as he closed the door, I felt something sitting behind me. I had like needles in the back of my neck, and I couldn't like shake it. I was like, what is in this car? Get out, get out. And I'd never felt that before in my life. So I start driving on the 405, the highway, and I'm going like 70 miles an hour, and that feeling, needles in the back of my neck. Then my brand new car at the time started acting on its own. The radio's going on and off. The lights are going on and off. I'm freaking out, and I felt my car was taking over control, and I was just like, oh my God. And finally I pulled over the side of the road, was just like crying, and I was just like, leave me alone. And then I felt it go. And then I drove the car, and it was fine. It never happened again.
You know that driving on a 405 is that experience without the ghosts most of the time.
That's very true.
Yeah, it's a very tricky
It's very true.
freeway to ride on too. Maybe it was like something with the ex-boyfriend. Is it ex, right?
Yes.
So maybe that's a good thing.
You
that
could
it
be
went away.
haunted, yeah, like get out of here.
This film, I mean, you have a
Yes.
very engaging writer right here that
Yes.
just spoke to, someone
Yes.
that's very creative. What drew you to script? When you read a script, what's your first like impression, especially this one?
Yes. So as soon as I read this script, I was just telling her that I know when I want to take on a script when I get like that feeling all over your body where you get tingles. I was excited. I was like, I have to see this. I have to be a part of this. I am a huge fan of horror, and so when I read something that I had never really seen before, I've never seen like a young woman of color destroy vampires. I'd never seen anything like that. I was
We've
like,
seen a lot of vampires, but not that.
never
That's
like
one,
this.
yeah.
Never like this. And I was like, I could actually see myself as, you know, the protagonist. Like I could relate with her, and I'm like, wow, she's badass. Like I wanted to take that message and bring it out, and I'm like, I just fell in love with it. And so when I pitched for it, I feel like they could probably feel my excitement because it's literally like a dream come true to make a movie like this. It's never been done, and it just has so much more impact than anything I've seen because it's not just like your regular fun horror film. It has so many messages within it that mean a lot to people who don't feel like they've been seen.
Yeah, no question about that. It's kind of an urban sense of it too. I'm excited to see it. You're probably like 25 or so. You look the part. Let's go with that. You're 25 and you get to work with a young cast. What is it like working with a younger cast? Are they easier to connect with in a sense? Is there anything as an advantage working with a young, in a sense, kind of new talent cast?
Yeah. I'm not 25, but thank you.
We're rolling with it.
But my cast, you know, doing the auditions, each one of them just popped. You know, I felt it immediately. They just were very natural in it. A lot of them, specifically Fabrizio and Asia, they are years older than they look. I feel like they've been around forever. Like they have such wisdom and talent, and they're such pros. I've never seen actors that were so in control of their emotions, and they're so professional. And so it was really an honor to work with all of them. I literally had the best time working with these pros.
I'm sure you learned a ton on this movie, as most filmmakers do. What's the biggest takeaway, either good or bad, that for your next project that you learned on this one that you will want to implement or not implement?
Yeah. Well, it was hard. I mean, like as Sherman said, we were shooting through COVID. We were shooting through lightning storms every day. And when COVID hit, it was like we're trying to make a vampire movie where you can't touch, you can't bite, you can't kiss, and then like that is hard.
Yeah.
So like, not only am I trying to like focus on the story, I'm trying to figure out how like not to infect people with COVID. You know, so
the logistical issue that would
it was crazy. I mean, like the second half of the shoot was delayed like 3 hours every single day because the storms had started. Like literally lightning hit my hotel room and went through my room. I saw it.
405 ghosts.
Exactly. So there was a lot of other, issues to deal with. But what I learned from this is, I mean, there's too many to count, honestly, to be able to work on this side. Because I come from the indie world. I did Phobias, that was like, less than $1 million, and then now I'm being able to move into the studio world. I got to work with amazing professionals who've been doing this longer than I've been alive. And so to be able, I've been very resourceful before, doing everything on my own, and to finally work with a crew to collaborate. I didn't have to find all locations. I didn't have to do everything on my own. I had teams. It really freed up so much for myself. Like I was able to really focus on storyboarding and shot listing and doing the work that I should be, because usually I'm doing it all.
The guerrilla filmmaking.
Filmmaking, every single facet of it I'm doing. But this time I actually felt like I could concentrate and see. And I think like as the budgets grow, if I'm, blessed enough to keep working in this industry.
Oh, you got a Blumhouse under the Blumhouse umbrella. You're doing well.
Yes. The next movies, the great thing about that is the teams get bigger, and you can kind of like get really amazing department heads that know way more than I do, and so we get to divvy up the work and really collaborate and take the best of every department. And it's honestly just such a crazy honor and a dream to be able to do this.
We'll get used to it because it's coming. I still need to do it in my part because I'm doing all my work here, so you know what it's like to do a one-man band.
Absolutely.
But I'm looking forward to seeing the film. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
What is that?
I got attacked.
Oh my god. Are you
By a group of homeless vampires.
Fizz.
My next victim.
How are you?
Hey, what's going on, fam?
Good,
You're
how are
looking
you?
fresh, man. Okay, what product do you use for your hair? Because I'm like, that's kind of...
It's just pomade. I try not to. The more I do, the worse it looks.
Yeah.
It's just literally pomade, and I run it through the middle. I sound super pretentious right now, but
No,
I
it's a
swear,
natural
it's
look.
just
I'm
the
asking
more,
you this.
Like the least you do, the way better.
I know. I put too much crap in it. And it looks. It doesn't come out as good as yours, fresh as yours.
Just shower, let your hair dry, pomade. That's it.
See, there you go. Advice for hair. Tell me what it's like to be on a horror set. You know, you've done different genre shows, films, but is there something special about a horror set? I always hear it's like the most fun set. So what was like on
It's
this
pretty
one?
fun. I mean, I think like the worst part of it was like one day having to leave at 3 o'clock in the morning, drenched in fake blood, super tired, and having to shower in my trailer, and the water was super cold. So that was like the worst of it all. But other than that, it was like playing with snakes and swords, and just in the middle of takes telling us to like be calm and behave. It was such a fun set though, you know, getting to see everybody with their vampire teeth and their contact, the blood, just the makeup, you know, I have an appreciation for that kind of stuff.
What you guys do as a cast? I know you guys shot during COVID, so that complicates everything, but did you guys hang out together? How did you in the sort of bond when you
Yeah,
were...
so I mean, prior to the pandemic, I'd already bonded with everyone, right? It was like I was in New Orleans, first time there. A lot of us, some of them were locals, some of them were coming from other places, you know. This film was set in New Orleans, so it's like we would go out on the town and have fun whenever we had our days off, right? You know, once the pandemic hit, it was great because I already knew everyone. Everyone was really responsible. I felt safe around them, and we kind of handled the business as best as possible. Like I was glad to be with them, and everything was very new to us. But you know, I had trust in my castmates, and it's a team effort. And I'm glad I had those people. We have beautiful communication. I was texting everyone on my way over here actually. So you know, it's those are friends. Those are friends. We look out for each other.
Yeah, everyone seems to have some kind of horror story happening off set when they're like feeling of like ghost or eerie feelings. Do you have any sort of experience like that?
Yes.
There you go.
No ghost. I don't actually. I'm
Craig
gonna
had it.
ask you. Can I tell him about the push-up thing?
Yeah, by all means.
Okay.
Don't do push-ups on
Okay,
set.
so we were on set,
Yeah.
and we decided we were gonna do a push-up competition. Mason decided he was gonna do a push-up competition, and we started off with regular push-ups. Then we said, Mason, let's go for clapping push-ups.
Oh,
he
damn.
went for clapping push-ups. Just no one asked us. Mason goes, yeah, I'm gonna try it, but I'm gonna try to do it behind my back,
hell, come
right? So he went for it first try, and his lip went right into the ground. He bit through the bottom of his lip. Bit through the bottom of his lip, was bleeding. I go, Mace, you okay? He shakes his head, he goes, no. He lifts his hand and blood starts pouring all over the place. He heads out the front door. There's like a trail of blood.
No way.
Yeah.
Real blood, by the
Real
way.
blood.
Yeah.
Real blood.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So don't do push-ups on set, I
Don't
guess,
do,
right?
I mean, he learned his lesson. Yeah, we didn't even get out of our chairs after that.
Well, that seems like a great story to finish off with. I can't follow that up, but excited to see you in the film. So
Thank you.
keep up the good work.
You as well.
Thank you.
Cheers.
We didn't know it yet. Hey, Chris.
Do I know you?
So I gotta follow up on the push-ups, man.
I can tell you,
Yeah.
to all of my actors, aspiring actors, current actors out there, don't do push-ups on set. Somebody will dare you, they might make you feel challenged, decline.
It turns into real horror and real blood,
Yeah,
right?
you'll wind up listening to like Hurt by Johnny Cash and the medical tent to Injured Day. No one ever wants to be there.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, it was a good experience outside of a couple scary little run-ins, the whole pandemic thing going on. It was a good time. That being said, I'm very serious. Don't do push-ups on set. Enjoy the time with your friends, and hopefully, we're able to kind of get the New Orleans of it across, as well as a great story. So yeah.
I think so too. And hey, it looks like you're in shape anyway. You don't need to do push-ups on set, you know?
You know, gotta keep everything for the camera.
There you go, guys. Perfect.
Look deep into my eyes. Do you know where you are?
I can't remember.
dressed for the occasion. You going out tonight somewhere afterwards, or what?
I'm going straight back to the hotel room and take me a nap, brother.
It's probably a good idea too.
Yeah,
it's been a while, probably for all of us, to be at a premiere, right? Does it feel nice to finally get out and be part of it, and film coming out?
I'm a thing as a part of the human being that always want to have some sort of social experience. So definitely being around, good energy. It's primitive, So it definitely does feel good to answer your question. To be around it.
Absolutely. You read the script. What's your first thought or impression that you had?
To my knowledge, I don't think I got the script. I kind of got it scene by scene, if I'm not mistaken. But when I did get the scenes, I guess my impression was this is going to be a lot of fun. I'll be able to stretch in all ways I want to stretch, and create a base that, or establish a base that, you'll only get better from, long story short,
Are you a fan of the horror genre to begin with? What's your kind of pre this movie impression of the horror genre?
I think we're all fans of the horror genre, right? The human brain loves to hold on to danger before it holds on to pleasure. And I think that horror gives us that danger. It keeps us on our seat. Gives us that blood rush we look for. It's like you want to look away, but you can't look away no matter how hard it is. And I think that you throw a rock and hit somebody and say one of the staple films growing up was a horror film. The Exorcist, as I can speak on that, traumatized me as a kid. But no matter how many times you go back to it, it's like there's some magic around it. So being able to be a part of horror. It's I don't want to say double-edged sword, but it's like, you're kind of establishing that creed, and you kind of, checking those points off on your list, doing a good horror, doing a great horror,
What's right? You've done a different genre.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre, even to think about that. Yeah, legit.
That stuff could, that's like reality-based stuff right there, small towns.
13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Chucky, now they all starting to come back to me right now, so you know what I'm saying. Horror is a part of it all.
I interviewed Freddy Krueger, and he's like the nicest guy, by the way.
Yeah, I don't know if I can meet that guy. The dude was traumatized me for a very long time in my life, man,
Me too, man, but I'm like, I expect him to be scary, but just too nice, But that kind of brings me to a question. What is it like to be on a horror set? Because I feel like talking to actors, directors, they're the most fun usually.
Yeah.
Because you're with a group usually, you're based with usually multiple actors in it. What was this set like for you?
We shot location for the day I was on set. It was right off of Esplanade in Mid-City in this neighborhood I had never seen before. I'm born and raised in New Orleans, live in New Orleans. And
you haven't seen that neighborhood?
I've never been in that neighborhood before in my life. And upon walking, on the property, the property itself had just this haunting air to it. Then once we stepped inside the actual room where we would do the scene, the red accent, the oaky accent, the warm tonality of it, the eerie pictures, the Victorian style pictures hung up all around the walls. It was very uncomforting. It was a few moments in between takes where we go sit in the green room, which is basically a living room, and you didn't want to be in there by yourself. You know what I mean? You didn't want to have that picture just sitting over you. You're like, all right, this is making me very, I don't like it. But it adds into the tonality of it all. It adds into the nuance of it all, the palette, right? I think we all enjoy a good scare, even if it is as a medium as being in a room that you're uncomfortable in. It's like it's an experience. So yeah, location scouts did a phenomenal job on finding that. I can tell you that much because the location has an aura to it. You know what I mean?
Able to kind of
did your friends start calling you up? You're back home kind of doing a film? Did you start getting phone calls from people you couldn't recognize?
I think we all go through that phase at some point in time in this career, but you got to keep it under the radar, head down, feet moving, to identify the goal at hand. And I think that when you do that, you'll find yourself in the right areas, away from the wrong areas, and that involves getting phone calls like that. You know what I mean? So long story short, now
you got it all figured out.
Nah, we don't have it all figured out. We're just piecing together one day at a time. You know what I mean?
Keep it up. Keep doing the work, my friend.
My God, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Pleasant. Yes, sir.